Crispin on Super Tuesday, and we can only hope we will have a finish here at the Cassell like we just had in Nashville. What a finish and what a game between Texas A&M and Vanderbilt, and we've got two teams that played a close one, as you can see. The last time they met in Tallahassee last month, it came down to the wire, a 3-point Florida State win. Virginia Tech has lost 3 in a row. Florida State 2-4 in their last 6. So, John, contrasting styles between these two teams, and also two clubs that really need a win.
They need wins, and both teams have found it at times. Whatever it is, I think we all know what I'm talking about. They found it at times, but they've struggled to find that consistency. So far for Virginia Tech, I think that what they're forcing is fouls to be called. You got to fight physicality with toughness. You can't fight physicality with physicality, then you're the team that gets called for fouls. Good job. I mean, Hunter Cattoor, his attack went down. We thought he might have hurt his left elbow. He's fighting through it. But Pedulla fighting through the physicality with toughness to get to the free throw line.
A couple of things to get you caught up on. Hunter Cattoor went down hard on his left arm, holding his left elbow. He is fighting through the pain, has stayed in the game. And obviously that is something that Virginia Tech needs. Leaning in, using the window, and getting the friendly roll is Jamir Watkins. At Florida State tonight, you can see, wearing the turquoise uniforms as they are honoring the Seminole heritage that is their namesake. And these are sharp-looking uniforms.
They really dig them.
1-3 already went down for Darren Green Jr. That one from NBA range comes up short. And here's Sean Pedulla. Pedulla picks up his dribble at the elbow. The length of Florida State can be a problem. He finds an outlet in Robbie Barron. He can't hit. It bounces to Cattoor. He can't hit!
That's a really big shot. You know, Hunter Cattoor came out very first possession of the game. He brings the ball up the court, little ISO situation, gets a jumper from about 15 to 17 feet. He goes down on that elbow, then hits a good 3 on a second chance opportunity. That's a good sign.
Watkins fades away. Yes.
How tough. I mean, both sides. Good defense, better offense. Better offense typically wins. But both sides really locked in physically on the defensive side.
What makes Florida State defensively so hard to play against at times?
Well, great length, number one, but also they're very good at switching. A lot of teams switch, but aren't very good at it. That's the problem. That's a part of their culture, not just what they do. Switching length, they're disruptive with that length. They get their hands in passing lanes, but they don't gamble and put themselves in bad situations. And for plays according to their culture and their identity, and I think that's what makes them so dangerous. For Virginia Tech to take care of the basketball for 40 minutes while still being aggressive and dynamic, that's the great challenge.
Well, for Leonard Hamilton, it can be like hockey, right?
Yeah.
There are line changes that can take place, and already he's got Cattoor and Primo Spears on the floor. I'm sure we'll see Chandler Jackson before long. Taylor Bowen is on the floor for the first time as well. So 3 subs during that last timeout, and that is not unusual for the Noles.
No, and the thing is, there's variety to it as well. I mean, Primo Spears is a different guard. He's going to be different than anything else that someone like Sean Pedulla or Hunter Cattoor have had to cover. Hunter Cattoor is really hubbed up on Darren Green. He's got gravity. You're not going to leave Darren Green, but Primo Spears can get where he wants with the basketball. That's another challenge for Pedulla around the perimeter.
Tyler Nichols checks in as well for the Hokies, replacing Robbie Barron.
He wants to shoot that.
Shot clock winding down for Darren Green Jr. And that goes off the foot of Cattoor and out of bounds. Well, this is obviously a night to watch two coaches do great work. You've got, of course, Mike Young on one sideline, but Leonard Hamilton, the winningest coach in Florida State history, on the other. And these are two guys that are true tacticians.
They are tacticians in their own way, and I think that's what makes the matchup so fun.
Shot clock just about out of time, and it is a shot clock violation. As trying to find the loose ball was Cam Corrin, stripped away at the last moment, and the timer expired.
Hey, I'm with Sean Pedulla on that one. No, don't give us the shot clock violation. You're going to allow them to pick up, and now I've got to deal with them for about 70 feet. At least on a steal, you're out and running, and then Florida State's in chase mode until you get settled.
Looks like Cattoor has been able to shake off the left elbow injury as well.
Yeah, he'll feel that one later, though. Trust me, he fell hard.
Cattoor needs some help. A lot of dribbling, gets tripped up. And that's a tough luck foul for Darren Green Jr.
Here's a great possession defensively, because here's the thing. I mean, it's easy to look at that and say, yeah, a lot of dribbling. And you're right. Problem is there's nowhere to throw the basketball because you got hands in passing lanes. And because of the great length, they're able to take both the pass away and a back cut away. That's something Leonard Hamilton talked about. He said, we're not going to gamble, but we are going to get our hands where a ball can be passed.
Darren Green Jr., the UCF transfer. That's 354 collegiate threes that just sat down on the bench with his second foul. Cattoor kicks one to the corner. Nickel hits from the perimeter, knocks down a triple, and Virginia Tech has the lead.
Yeah, there are so many times you're going to see Virginia Tech's going to run action to create what they call double gaps, right? Openings in the defense. You attack that double gap, and the skip is often there because it brings that backside defender over. Last thing you want to do is give up a double gap, skip three.
Jamir Watkins draws the foul. Go against MJ Collins.
Yeah, this is kind of masterful. That's really good basketball. And for Pedulla, you need to see more of those plays from Pedulla. Now the question is, if they don't overhelp, if they don't come over, what's next, right? If they recover, where does Pedulla go with the basketball? Can't leave your feet against Florida State, so the pass has to be there on time. Yes, good shot, high percentage three. But if it's not there, it can't be something that leads to a tough situation and a turnover.
That's MJ Collins' second, so he sits down. And Chandler Jackson, off the 17-point performance against Virginia on Saturday, is in for the Noles for the first time. Spears has it thrown right back in his face, 5 to shoot. Spears creates space. That's short, offensive rebound. And that was ripped down by Cora. Loses it though, and back the other way comes Pedulla.
Man.
Primo Spears causing havoc. It'll stay with Virginia Tech.
I mean, it's like take a breath later type of offense, right? Like, I hate to say it, but it's almost like you can take more breaks on the defensive end against Florida State than you can on offense. You've got to work hard to get open. You've got to work hard to create an opportunity off the bounce, and then you, sure as anything, have to work hard to finish.
Really interesting in the age of the portal.
Yeah.
And now NIL and how much change there is in college sports and college basketball, to hear you and Leonard Hamilton having that kind of philosophical conversation today about how he puts together a team as Pedulla, with 5 seconds on the shot clock, gets it to Nickel, and the shot clock winding down. And it goes to Lynn Kidd, has to put one up, that grazes the front of the rim.
Well, I always say I'd rather know how they think than anything specific about a game, and he really shares a lot. And I love the conversations we get to have with coaches who really just share perspective, right? We don't have near the perspective as what they have as many years as they've been head coaches. It's a very unique perspective, and to hear how he built programs, hear how he's developed culture, and how he's challenged to sustain that culture. I think there's a vulnerability in there, and it's okay to accept that.
A long two, and hit the backboard first for Spears.
So one piece to his game, if he develops a very good mid-range game, which I think is close there, but the three-point shot, if he develops a three-point shot with his ability to get to wherever he wants off the bounce, Primo Spears is dangerous.
Pedulla, Corbin, caught on a switch, but the length creates the turnover. Spears protects the ball with the right shoulder and draws the foul, as he just about went coast to coast with the left hand. And it did indeed create a Virginia Tech bump.
Florida State's they're just all over you. Pedulla going up, I think he thought he was going to get the foul, and there's not much there. It's the second reaction, right? The initial contact, Primo Spears kind of caused the initial contact, that's fine, but when you react to it, you always get the foul call.
It's Cattoor's first. Soft touch, won't go for Chandler Jackson.
It's good defense. You're just playing angles at that point. Force him into the tough angle shot.
Nickel picks up his dribble, and again a deflection. Nickel Berry back the other way for Florida State. That pass deflected though, and Pedulla escapes. Goes to the bucket and gets fouled. And it looks like this will be a foul in the act, so Sean Pedulla will go to the line to shoot a pair as we're coming up on 4.5 minutes for Florida State without points.
We haven't really established a good flow. I mean, turnovers have been really disruptive for both offenses. I would say Virginia Tech's gotten better shots. They just haven't done a good job by sitting down when they get the ball in the paint and making a good, patient, disciplined decision.
We have a terrific college basketball Saturday for you on ESPN. It tips off at noon Eastern. Featured matchups. 9th-ranked Duke will take on these Noles. And then it's number 6 Kansas and number 25 Oklahoma. That game at 4 Eastern. And then we'll wrap things up in the SEC. Kentucky and Auburn at 6 Eastern. That's a sonic blockbuster. Should be another great afternoon of hoops. It begins at noon after game day and then all day long on ESPN.
It's one of those days where you feel like a failure when you're not working. How's the part where you ask me if I have a game? Don't ask, by the way.
You got a game?
No. I'll be talking somewhere on Sunday, I think, though.
There you go. I have to fire up the DVR. I've got Bruins Kings at 12:30.
Oh, man, you got it all
over on ABC. Yeah. So sticks and pucks to start the day. But then, you know what? As soon as that game's over,
I'm sure
I get
you'll
to
catch
race
them
back
all.
to my TV and catch the triple header after that.
It's like Hallmark movies. You know how it's going to end. That's how I watch games. I like to watch them back after I know how they finished, right? It's more peaceful. There's actually a philosophy behind that. You learn how it happened, though.
Nickelberry created space. The easy rebound for Cattoor.
The other thing I want to point out is how difficult it is to play against Florida State because you cannot simulate their length and intensity. I mean, you can talk about that all you want. You can say, don't throw the ball away, but the reality is at some point you're going to have to face it.
Florida State's calling card.
Yes.
Right? I mean, they are going to try and beat you with their depth.
But it's not even balanced scoring. It's balanced defense, right? It's balanced contributions in every possible way. That's what makes them so tough. And I told you at the break, I'm stressed out just thinking about playing offense against that length. But it's also the intensity and the discipline in there. I mean, we don't want to take that away either.
Back in with 2 fouls is Darren Green Jr. Bob Miller in the post, gets to the front of the rim.
That's good recognition of the matchup. If you get it in there quickly, you can attack it. The longer you wait, the more Virginia Tech defensively can adjust to that matchup and take that easy layup away. So good recognition early in the offensive set.
Cattoor thought about a 3. Rex Steiner tries it instead and buries it.
It's all shot preparation right there from Rex Steiner. Cattoor thought he had the shot. The defense on Rex Steiner backed up just a hair. Just enough, took his hand out of the passing lane. Rex Steiner got shot ready before the ball arrived. Some might say that's coaching. I would agree.
Green Jr. picks up his dribble.
Some might say that was a travel, and I would agree.
Jalen Worley bullets a pass inside. The bump plus the foul. Terrific pass as Jalen Worley looked underneath and found Jalen Gainey. And just like that, a chance for a 3-point play for the Noles.
So the difference here is length, right? Length takes that pass opportunity away. You don't even think about it because you have hands in your face, hands in the passing lanes. That's kind of the point we're trying to make about how difficult it is to play against this Florida State defense for 40 minutes. You've got to adjust to it. And then you've got to adjust to what they're taking away and adjust to the things that are counter the things that they're adjusting to. Again, we talk about chess. Like this really will be a chess game throughout the course of this one.
I think they have a foul called on Robbie Barron for a possible lane violation that's going to give another opportunity. No, they got the foul. It is a lane violation. And not taking advantage is Gainey.
It's interesting because they looked at Watkins on tape and said on foul shooting blockouts, he likes to stay behind and then slip underneath. And I think Robbie Barron tried to take the underneath away and in doing so fouled.
Rex Steiner throws one into traffic, deflected and gathered by Nickel.
How many times do you think you're going to say that today?
In and out from the elbow.
Throws one into traffic.
Lynn Kidd fought for the loose ball. Barron, that's off the side rim. Another offensive rebound, though, for Lynn Kidd. Shut down underneath is Barron, but a second effort, and he is able to convert around Miller.
Robbie Barron was a really good pickup for Mike Young. I mean, he understood what he was getting with Robbie Barron. And I think, if anything, coming here to Virginia Tech, Robbie Barron's able to play a position that it suits him better. There were times at Northwestern I saw him at the 5 battling with guys like Hunter Dickinson and Kofi Coburn. God bless him for being able to play more of a 3-4 role here.
Baseline 3 for Darren Green Jr., his second triple.
That's that 2 pass away, doesn't matter. He's the best shooter on the floor. You can't let him get a catch and step into it. That becomes a high percentage rhythm 3.
Aaron hounded out near the mid-court stripe by Gainey. Rex Steiner the lob. Kidd the catch in traffic. Puts it up, and in with the left hand.
Another good recognition. Again, these are the things you go through in scouting report. They're going to switch everything, that's fine, and we have to punish them for switching. They get it right inside to Kidd, and he does his work against Darren Green where he has the advantage.
Lynn Kidd was at Clemson as a freshman. He barely played, but he has blossomed here at Virginia Tech. 16 games in double figures this year. Jamir Watkins, plus the foul.
That's what Watkins does. He makes a lot of tough physical shots. And I felt like at first, I thought this was pretty good defense. I still think it was pretty good defense.
Checking in for the Hokies, number 3, shot Pedulla at 13.
You're going to leave me hanging on that? You're not going to have an opinion on it? What do you think?
Cylinder foul?
Cylinder foul. I love the cylinder violation.
I knew that's where you wanted to go.
I'd be going for those all day.
Bob Miller sits down. Deontay Green back in for the Seminoles.
To get that call, you really have to remind the officials that they have to call it, because it's a rare one.
Three-point play completed by Jamir Watkins. He'll go to the bench. Chandler Jackson is back in, as is Primo Spears.
You know how you get the cylinder foul call? Is you turn it into a point of emphasis. They make the call all the time if it's a point of emphasis for officials.
It is just tough to get the ball in at times against Florida State. Everything is work.
That's why if you get a rebound, just get it over half court, for crying out loud. Even dead balls on the baseline are a good thing for the Florida State defense. And when they're tired, 5 more will come in.
Pedulla back in to run the point. Plays Rex Steiner. Spin move, tied up, foul. So Pedulla will go to the free throw line, as it looks like the reach-in will be called on Primo Spears.
So one of the adjustments you have to make if you're a guard here, a spin dribble like that, you can't spin weak, right? You can't just kind of be weak. You can't be loose with the ball. You've got to spin tight, almost like a running back running through the line. You can't keep the ball loose. You keep it tight, be strong. Strong legs, good base.
The South Carolina women, the nation's only undefeated D1 team, highlight our Thursday basketball doubleheader. Square off with Kia Jackson and the Lady Vols in Knoxville. Coverage begins Thursday at 7 Eastern, number 1 on the road to take on the Lady Vols.
Can you imagine an undefeated team in the men's game this year with all the...
Impossible to imagine.
I saw someone say, yeah, it's parity on display. I was like, no, it's inconsistency. Like, what do you expect? Free agency to the game, you're going to have inconsistency.
Green wastes no time and can't hit that time. Darren Green Jr. just off to the right. Pedulla down low. Kidd lost control.
That was a good probe by Pedulla too. Patient, head up, waited to throw the pass.
Spears fed the lane. Deontay Green couldn't connect. Pedulla, step back 3. Off the front rim. Way up in the air for the rebound is Darren Green Jr. And a foul, I think, has been called.
Kid.
So he'll step aside. 2-point lead for Virginia Tech. 7:15 to go in the half. Where does a box out cease to be a box out, and where can you go too low and create a dangerous play where it should be a foul?
To me, I think you got to give consideration to the fact, ball don't lie, I guess. Give consideration to the fact that there's upper body contact in the back. So what's going to happen? You're going to get bent over and you're going to push back.
Look and the finish, hanging from the rim, was Taylor Bowen. Terrific find by Spears.
Terrific find, and that'll be frustrating for Mike Young and the staff who sits there and says, guys, we looked over these things. We're multiple passes away. This isn't something you allow. For Lynn Kidd, you're just up. There's no real help. There's no hedge. You're not denying that. You're not taking that away in any way, and not enough ball pressure, so you're allowed to pick out your pass.
Now a tough spot to inbound from. As Jade Young was able to catch the inbound pass and stay in bounds. Pedulla with space. Cattoor picks up his dribble on the baseline. He needs help. 7 to shoot. Lobbed inside over the head of Lynn Kidd. Coast to coast, and drawing contact is Jamir Watkins. He'll go to the free throw line.
So just the cumulative effect of that possession. Right? You can barely get the ball in bounds. By the time you get it up to half court, you really can't stop and take a breath. You've got to get into some action. And then Cattoor's got to know better. That's not a place you could pick up the basketball against Florida State. You're kind of in no man's land. Just bring it back out. Let everybody space. There's going to be 7-8 seconds left on the clock. Give yourself a chance at a shot.
Again, the Noles wearing their Nike Seminole Heritage turquoise uniforms for the 28th time, dating all the way back to 2013 when they first started to wear the tribute uniforms, celebrating their Seminole heritage. And they are sharp.
They are really cool. I grew up a big Florida State football fan. I loved Bobby Sura, Charlie Ward, Tomahawk Chop. It was kind of a heyday there. How about Charlie Ward having a better NBA career, right? It was wild.
Win the Heisman Trophy and then never play in the NFL.
Yeah. I just heard Sam Cassell from the voice in my ear. I forgot about Sam Cassell.
And Jay Collins with a couple of personal fouls back in the game for Virginia Tech. This Florida State team just seems like the type of team as Nickel rises up and connects. You need to have multiple guys handle the ball because you just get exhausted if you tried to be the lone point against this defense all night.
You look at Pedulla's line against Florida State, right? 26 points, great. 34 minutes. 34 minutes of this. There's a reason why he had 2 assists and 4 turnovers.
Corin finds the cutter, and the floater is there for Chandler Jackson.
Really can't fall asleep on the opposite side. C-man-C ball, there are principles that are timeless, right? There are so many simple principles. C-man-C basketball is one of them. Same thing kind of happens nowadays on the offensive end. C-man-C ball, why? Because everything's read and react.
Pedulla trying to pocket pass. It becomes a turnover. Spears the other way. Gives it up for the flush by Corin. And a timeout called by Virginia Tech.
Timeout, Virginia Tech.
Identity. It's something Leonard Hamilton talks a lot about. We don't have a style, we have a culture. And part of that culture is doing it for 40 minutes, knowing that you don't have to do it for a full 40. You really got to give 20 to 25 minutes of just max effort. And the more you buy into maximizing efficiency and effort in 20 to 24 minutes, the better this program's going to be. It's like using me to simulate Watkins. Good luck.
The good hands by Primo Spears. Shot clock at 10 as now Virginia Tech has to hustle. Pedulla from the elbow. Connects.
Last couple shots they've got have been in the mid-range. So if you attack hard, get low, stop, little step back, maybe a little chicken wing. Not too much. Don't extend the hand, extend the elbow. You get away with it. But use the mid-range to soften up defense. And then you start getting to the basket, and they start getting fouls. Size on the floor right now for Florida State.
Spears off the feed from Miller. Lost it on the way up. Pedulla out to the wing. Cattoor for 3. Yes! That's Virginia Tech basketball when they're at their best.
That's a terrific response out of a timeout. Mike Young calls the timeout because he felt the moment. This was a bad moment in the first half. You want to come out, finish strong to get to that under 4. And they responded with a mid-range jumper and then a transition 3 with little pressure applied from Florida State.
Watkins with a shot fake, and he draws the foul on Nickel.
Virginia Tech's 23, Tyler Nickel.
I just think this is just a game where you have to adjust to the game. You're not even adjusting as much to what a defense is doing. You're adjusting to the way the game's played, the length, the disruptive nature of everything, the intensity. And the more you can get quick shots in transition, you're going to soften that defense up. I always heard coaches say, like, oh, we're going to play for a full 30-second shot clock. Make them defend for a full 30. What? If you walk the ball off the court for 15 seconds, that's not a full 30. Push it up. The willingness to take that early 3 in transition will make it more difficult to defend for 94 feet.
Jamir Watkins now in double figures for the 10th straight game.
Checking in for the Hokies, 13, Jaden Young, and 15.
Jaden Young back in, along with Elijah Poteet sitting down, replaced by Lynn Kidd. The only ACC player leading his team in points, rebounds, assists, and steals. And I guess, in a way, that compliment acts as an announcer jinx.
Yes.
As Jamir Watkins tosses up a brick right on cue. How am I doing?
Why does it seem like that actually happens?
Because
we're not that important, but
he's a 79% free throw shooter, too. He's tough to jinx. That hit the backboard first for Pedulla. There's a rebound for Watkins. Keeps on stuffing the box score. Thought about a 3. He'll try one. And connects again.
He was yelling at you, but
Yeah. He knew I jinxed him on that
Yes,
next free throw. And Florida State has responded. They've got the 3-point lead.
He really does. He impacts the game in every way, and he's added versatility. Allows you to switch, can play against the big, can cover guards, can shoot from the perimeter. He's going to get offensive rebounds. He's really good offensive rebounding, particularly when he's coming from the perimeter.
The VCU transfer, and he has made an impact in Tallahassee.
I think that's a good culture-to-culture transfer, too. Kind of what Mike Rhodes did with that program. I think he fit in very well here under Leonard Hamilton. I feel like that's the future of it, too.
Gives it up, and it's the freshman Jaden Young able to knock one down.
I think that's kind of the next step. When you're looking at transfers, you're really going to want to look at who's coached them. And do you trust where they're coming from? I think that's a big piece of it. Is it consistent with what you want to do and who you want to be? I think those things matter more than we maybe thought it mattered coming into the last few seasons.
From the corner at Spears. Rainbow 3, he buries it.
3-point pass is made by 23.
He looked back at the bench, the Virginia Tech bench. I'm sure something was said. Like non-threat or something like that. That's what we would say.
Cattoor answers.
Quick shots against Florida State might be the best shot you get.
8 straight games now in double figures for Hunter Cattoor, as he has 11, and he is 3 for 3 from downtown. 2 minutes to go in the half. Miller goes right at Nickel and draws the foul. That's the second foul called on Tyler Nickel.
Florida State doing a good job moving the basketball from the paint. You suck in the defense a little bit, force a closeout from a smaller defender, but Cattoor is really starting to feel it here. If you're going to sag off of Cattoor, you're going to get beat. I mean, that's the one guy you know you can't leave. You know, because made shots become rhythm builders for shooters. I can promise you that as a shooter, when you see one fall, when you see 2 fall, you see 3 fall, those are rhythm builders. Now it seems as everything's downhill for a shooter. It gets easier and easier.
Both teams over the limit. So Baba Miller, only a 50% free throw shooter at the line, 1-1. And Nickel the rebound.
The other thing is you look at team shooting percentage, given the tough defense, the physicality we've seen. I mean, shooting percentages are high, all above 50, both 3s and 2s for both teams.
Pedulla up, under, hits the front rim, but draws the foul on Jalen Worley.
One of the things I was talking about at shoot-around, saying against Florida State, Pedulla's got to use footwork more than ever before and be patient with it. You've got plenty of time. If you're in the paint, you got 3 seconds. If you're outside of the paint, you got 5. Just take your time. Just probe with footwork. See if you can use head fakes, ball fakes to create an opening in the passing lanes, or maybe an opportunity at a basket or a foul shot.
Our next NBA Wednesday doubleheader starts in Cleveland with Donovan Mitchell and the Cavs hosting DeMar DeRozan and the Bulls at 7:30 Eastern. And then Steph and the Warriors against Kawhi, Paul George, and the Clippers. Our coverage tips with NBA Countdown at 7 on ESPN and the app. Talk about a basketball family as well. Sean Pedulla, he's got 8 siblings. 2 of his brothers and 1 sister won state basketball championships in high school.
Yeah, there's like
how about those driveway pickup games?
But how about the fact it's like, oh, scholarship, thank God. Thank God, another one, thank God. Like,
don't I know it?
You got 5, cool.
Yeah. And none of them are winning state basketball championships, I think, anytime soon.
Got a runner.
He's helping. 5 to shoot. Watkins gives it up. Do they realize? Primo Spears finally does. And knocks it down from Steph Curry range.
Did he get it off? They're saying he did not get it off.
There's still a half second on the shot clock.
That's really interesting that there was a half second on the shot clock.
That's his first.
But they called a foul.
They called foul, okay. That's frustrating.
They called a foul on Jalen Gainey away from the ball. And now it looks like another foul is going to be called. This one might be on Spears.
Fouls on Florida State's 23.
This is interesting. I think Virginia Tech's playing very well. They've responded very well to just the toughness, physicality, length, disruptive nature of Florida State. They have. They've settled in this game. Now the question is, when you go into halftime, how do you sustain that attention to detail, right? That intensity, that discipline for a full 40? Because you know that's what Florida State's going to bring. It's been a well-played game on both sides. A few extra turnovers here and there, but shooting percentages are high.
Spears becomes the 6th player, each team with 3, with 2 personal fouls. So neither team has a player with 3 fouls here in the first half, but there could be some foul trouble, strategic decisions they'll have to talk about in the second half.
Oh, there's the foul. Yeah, oh, it's on the screen. Rolling to the basket. Kind of anticipating the shot clock going off. I'm actually going to give that to Pedulla. I think that was smart play by Pedulla to just kind of stand in the way and take the hit.
Timeout.
So Leonard Hamilton is going to call the timeout you can't take with you.
Love is in the located minutes from Uptown at exit 79.
1:08 to go here in the first half. Virginia Tech with the 4-point lead. Bob Schusen here with John Crispin on Super Tuesday, as the Hokies again come into tonight having lost 3 in a row. And Florida State, they're 2-4 in their last 6. So both teams need a win, and a 7-0 run over the last minute plus for Virginia Tech has put them on top.
I feel like the hardest thing for college basketball teams to do is find and maintain consistency. It's just been hard. Sometimes the team you prepare for shows up and is a lot better. That happens too.
Spin cycle, Nickelberry. He'll go to the free throw line.
It's going to be a challenge for Virginia Tech if Florida State can create space. Just given the guys they have off the bounce, they can get to the basket, be very physical around the rim, and then send multiple offensive rebounders.
Jaden Young called for his first. 5th-year senior Josh Nickelberry spent a couple of years at LaSalle and a couple of years at Louisville, so circling back to the ACC to finish off his collegiate eligibility.
How many times have you seen guys 3 or 4 schools?
Now, like, all the time.
What happened to that one-time transfer?
Yeah, they did away with that rule.
Yeah. That was like a recommendation or a suggestion. Yeah, thanks.
Lynn Kidd back in as Poteet goes to the bench. to the wing. Camden can't connect. Offensive rebound. Kidd. He gets rejected inside. Rising up was Watkins.
I really like that three-shot opportunity because it almost puts you in a 2-for-1 situation, which I love. Not a lot of college teams take advantage of that. Good find from Pedulla.
About a 3.5-second differential. So Spears dribbles it down. 10 to shoot. Spears splits the defense.
Jeez.
Cruises in for 2.
No, we need a dead ball so we can see that again.
Here comes Pedulla. Quickly out to the wing. Young for 3. No good. The tip follow won't go. And we are deadlocked at 39 at halftime.
Okay, watch the move. This is remarkable. I talked.
Pedulla right to the basket, throws one up, and the finish by Lynn Kidd.
Well, he ain't tired yet. That was awesome. Good pressure in the backcourt, but got extended too much, and Pedulla, the right decision to throw it up. It's a good start.
Worley around Pedulla, bumps, and draws the foul on Barron. He'll go to the line. That's the third on Robbie Barron. He becomes the first player with 3.
I mean, this was just a good read by Pedulla. Kind of lifted all the defense. Good lob up. Kid, good recognition of that ball, but almost saw it too late. What a way to start that. You can draw it up all you want, and that might not happen.
I thought you said every single time you were in a film session with your coach or on the dry erase board, when they drew it up, it worked perfectly.
Oh, yeah. Again, like if it worked perfectly, we'd win 150-0. Like, the reality of the game today is it's so much different, right? I think when I played, it was a lot of it was run sets, execute. We do this when they do this. It's so much more fluid right now that it's so much more read and react. You have to adjust on the fly. So ultimately, you're teaching how to play basketball more than how to play against other players that are going to do this, that, and the other thing. Because we say you're building anti-fragility anymore.
Pedulla needs some help.
By the way, Worley is now the 11th player who scored for Florida State.
Well, they come at you in waves. And now Jamir Watkins fouls Hunter Cattoor.
They kind of come at you in tsunamis. I mean, that's the thing. Like, there's the teams that can keep coming with fresh bodies. But do they play this way? Do they have this length and physicality? Do they extend their defense for full court for the entire game? I think that's the other part that we leave out.
We talked about it. In the age of the portal and NIL, and so many kids transferring all the time, as Cattoor glides in for 2. For a coach like Leonard Hamilton, how hard is it for him to get players that immediately come in? And there's an offensive foul called on Jamir Watkins. And then he can immediately assimilate into the system because he likes to play so many guys.
Well, there's like good fit guys that are out there. Say your program wants to shoot the 3 and space out, so you got to get guys that can shoot it in space and have an understanding of how to maintain space on the floor. Good job by Hunter. Now that was Pedulla taking that one. But there's good culture guys too, and I think that's where you go back to where a guy came from. What does he value? You know, is he coachable? There's all those things, because if he's not coachable, then he's not going to be willing to play 20 minutes and be significant in those 20 minutes. He's going to feel entitled to more. So I think Leonard Hamilton really does a good job staying true to himself, knowing what works. I think Kelvin Sampson does the same at Houston. Like that find.
And a 3 goes from the wing for Tyler Nickel. As MJ Collins with a good find. A quick trigger at the other end. That's off the side rim. No good for Green Jr. And the rebound found by Lynn Kidd. That depth for Florida State will now be tested as their leading scorer, Jamir Watkins, on the bench with 3 fouls. A good step up by Jalen Worley. Gets the steal and draws the foul on Pedulla.
Virginia Tech recognized something and went over this in film, right? You deny that screen, right? Just attack the basket. You know they're going to switch. Why come off and get the switch? The reason why Mike Young loves that, because it means people are listening. Like, how many times coaches get excited when a play or an execution works? It's because it's been taught. And the fact that they're executing it, that's one of the most rewarding things for a coach. It's like, I'm teaching and they're learning.
Chandler Jackson back in as the sub for Jamir Watkins. And Jackson has been a microwave of late offensively. Worley Off the window, no good. Nickel pulls down the rebound. Pedulla, that pass deflected by Darren Green Jr. out of bounds.
Whoa. All I saw was a pair of legs.
And those legs belong to Deontay Green. They have to check, make sure he's okay.
It's very nice of the Virginia Tech training staff to bring a towel after a fall like that. When I go back to that play, we say, look, if you can attack, instead of coming off the screen and playing against all sorts of help defense, switching defense, attack that open gap and force that baseline guy over, make the skip pass before he fully commits to the ball, where all his momentum say, oh, gosh, Hunter Cattoor was wide open.
At the last second and turning to call the loss for Virginia Tech when you're trying to crawl back to at or above 500. But the 18 points that Cattoor had on Saturday, he needed 11 threes to make 4. Well, in this game, he's already 3 for 3, so that much more efficient. As leaning in with the left hand, the scoop wouldn't go for MJ Collins.
MJ Collins shows flashes like that, but we haven't seen it really sustained. I think the Duke game, he was good here at home, but he's got to find a way to just sustain sometimes simple basketball added to some of the kind of fantastic playmaking he can put together.
That was a terrific steal he just made. Cattoor, his pass stolen. Darren Green Jr. had it ripped out of bounds, but they'll say it is off Green Jr. as Cattoor got a hand in after nearly turning it over.
I really think playing against Florida State, it's a sit down when you get to the paint. Sometimes you can kind of make the pass, you anticipate it. They're so active with their hands. Leonard Hamilton really teaches that, drills that home. Active hands take vision away. Where's the vision? Well, they anticipate where you're looking and where you're going to pass, which a good defense should. It's like a safety in football.
Down 5, you wonder how long Jamir Watkins sits. A take back from Lynn Kidd, as it looked like that might have been a Cam Corrin steal. Pedulla lost his balance, keeps his dribble. That was Harlem Globetrotter stuff.
Neal, huh?
Yeah, right. Pedulla with the left hand. The tip follow won't go. And it stays with Virginia Tech.
This is pretty wild. This is pretty good.
This is Curly Neal, exactly right.
Presence of mind, keeps his head up and gets some matchups he can attack. Little pump fake up and under, just can't get it to go. Couldn't get the second chance opportunity. That's frustrating for a defense, particularly Florida State. Typically rebounds well.
And Florida State plays a lot harder defense than the Washington Generals.
Oh, really?
So that was even more impressive.
Well, you know, Bob, their job was to lose.
They did it well. Pedulla, air ball. Loose ball, hustle play, Lynn Kidd knocked it out of bounds.
Yeah, that's a tough, empty, good possession, right? You know, good possession in the sense that you created some second chance opportunities, you overcame botched play. Tough way to end it.
How long you think Leonard Hamilton sits Jamir Watkins with the 3 fouls?
Yeah, I feel like you bring him in with a rotation. There's no real reason to force him back into the game. You just use him as the next rotation. And then you ask him to be wise.
Jalen Worley. Missed point-blank range. Another rundown by Lynn Kidd.
Which I feel like asking Watkins to be wise takes a little something out of him.
Nickel. Line drive 3. Off the feed again from Pedulla.
Nickel, you got to be aware of in transition, particularly when he runs flat to the corners. And that really messes with your transition defensive principles. Really?
Wow. Really? Yes, exactly what Bob Miller probably would respond. Yes, really, I can shoot it from here. And he connects on a big 3.
That's a judge the outcome type of decision right there.
The no, yes shot?
Yeah, yes.
Quick trigger. Cattoor, his first miss from behind the arc. But a foul call.
This has been fun. I've enjoyed this game. I think physically it was incredibly tough back and forth early.
And later earned an MBA from Xavier. And he was a true trailblazer here at Virginia Tech, their first black scholarship basketball player. Back in the game, Watkins, and that substitution for Leonard Hamilton pays immediate dividends.
It's a great story, by the way. You know, verified by Sports Illustrated. I understand we live in a world of questionable sources, but I buy that. That's an awesome story. I want to look that up. When I saw that earlier in the day, like, can you picture that situation?
No, it's amazing.
Hey, go ahead and try to hit me. By the way, I'm Muhammad Ali.
And who would?
Like, I would try, but I would say, are you going to hit back first off? And if you said no, I'd be like, all right, I got to get this. This could be good. Now, if Mike Tyson said it, I'd be like, no thanks.
Nickel again. That one a little too strong, but the rebound run down by Pedulla. He has a lane to the basket, gives it up to Poteet. The follow is there for Nickel.
I thought they might have gotten a goaltend.
It sure looked like it may have been a goaltend, but you know what? As you said earlier, the ball knows.
Yeah, ball don't lie. Nickel's had a really good game, too. I think he's had a very quiet 13, 5 of 7 from the field, 3 of 4 from the three-point line. He's a good spacer. He gets to the open space, which is one of the most important parts of scoring off the ball.
Watkins will go to the free throw line after putting MJ Collins in the spin cycle. And Collins is called for his third.
He's a really tough cover, particularly when he likes his matchup, right? And they just space. They do a good job. He just continues to fight. There's not much more MJ Collins can do. And honestly, you got to play a lot more one-on-one the way the game's played these days. You got to cover the ball around the perimeter, and you got to play post one-on-one. Even the guards, you got to learn how to play post one-on-one. It's not about stopping the shot, right? You're not going to win 150-0. It's about forcing the toughest shot possible. Oh, there we go.
Into the teeth of the student section for Watkins.
Oh, does that count?
It did not count.
Oh, no bacon.
As Miller and Cattoor are being talked to by the officials.
Don't worry, folks. That's a rhythm disruptor. There's a good chance he misses. I'll take a sleeve of bacon. When was the last time you went grocery shopping? That's $9. Oh, got it. He quiets the crowd. Oh, I love this game.
He made the third opportunity count. Florida State back within 4. Collins on the drive, kicks it out to the wing. Cattoor off the front rim. And the rebound, a strong one at that for Jalen Gainey. Gainey in the post, bumped by Poteet, now sets the screen. Way outside Miller. NBA range again. He had made his 20th three of the season the last time he tried from out there, but that time a little too strong.
He's got a really nice release. I think shot prep is so important, especially with bigs, with footwork around the perimeter. About 2 to 11 in offensive rebounding. Virginia Tech has been great getting on the offensive glass.
Pedulla draws the foul.
And what that tells me is they're doing a good job keeping this Florida State defense spaced. They're being patient. They're waiting, letting the play develop, stay in space. When the shot goes up, they're anticipating it well. They're getting on the offensive glass. And obviously doing a good job rebounding on the defensive end.
That foul on Primo Spears, his third.
Checking in for the Seminoles.
I feel like these are two good teams, though. Like, I'm watching this, and I'm like, I see two good teams. These teams with consistency are NCAA tournament teams, and dangerous at that, given what they offer, which is a difficult matchup.
The athleticism, length, ability to defend you all 95 feet for Florida State, and the three-point prowess of Virginia Tech. There's no doubt these two teams in the ACC tournament could pull off one of those Thursday upsets that no one saw coming.
But I would argue that they're even more dangerous on a short prep in the NCAA tournament, where you haven't seen this team again. You can't simulate what Florida State does in any way unless you got a team of NBA guys that are that length and depth.
Well, right now, they're not even on Joe Lunardi's radar based on, say, the first 4 out, next 4 out in consideration. And Spears can't hit from 3, so both have a lot of work to do between now and through the ACC tournament to have a chance to make the NCAA tournament?
I'm going to say in the coming years we're going to just change the metric, because we're going to see teams that look bad in November, December, that all of a sudden January, February, March are like, wow, they could win a national championship. That's just the reality of bringing guys together on a short-term basis.
In and out for Pedulla.
If you want, I'll just choose the field. Lose a lot of friends.
You'll make some.
Yes.
Watkins dumps one down low for an easy flush by court.
Watkins, we talked about his impact, right? We look at his stats, but then you think impact. Well, his ability to just do that, put it on the floor with his head up and make a play, but also make the shot, also get the offensive rebound, defend a point guard, defend a big. He fills every hole.
Cattoor behind the back, lost control of the dribble, but Cam Corrin's going to be called for the foul.
This is just good play recognition, right? You're reading defense. Who's picking me up? Well, it's going to be a kid. Who's going to be open? It's the roll man, right? Basketball looks super complicated and fast-paced, but if you make the right decisions, you make the right reads, it's a pretty simple game. I also think a lot depends, it's kind of like the football mentality. You have a role, you have a responsibility. It may not be to make the player score, but it's to create the opportunity for someone else. You can do that as a decoy in the corner. Right now, Hunter Cattoor is just spacing out. That's going to give your teammate an opportunity because of the gravity he has with his ability to shoot.
Pedulla throws one back up top, the extra pass to Cattoor. Shot clock winding down, creates space, can't finish. And back the other way comes Spears. Corrin throws it down again as he slipped past Lynn Kidd.
Virginia Tech's got to be careful and maybe adjust some of their ball screen coverages. They're helping up a little too high, staying with the basketball and the length, able to pass over the top of the defense for those short rolls and rolls.
What once was an 8-point Virginia Tech lead is down to 1. Pedulla tries to stretch it, and does with a deep three.
It's really big. That's a big moment in the game right there. I mean, Florida State climbing back, getting what they want on the offensive end to hit that shot to soften the blow.
Spears around Pedulla and drew the foul. That's the 4th foul on Virginia Tech.
It hasn't been a ton of runs in this game, but really they've been pockets where both teams get hot to Pedulla.
Florida State has shared the ball tonight as they have assisted on 10 of their 18 made field goals. And we wondered which trend would break. 3-point shooting for Virginia Tech or overall shooting for Florida State. Neither has really broken yet. And we're midway through the second half. 2 to shoot. Spears from NBA range has to force it up. That comes up short. Bol Bowen, though, with a hustle play through traffic to get the offensive rebound. Jackson was tied up. Back to Bol Bowen, short for 3. And it drops to Collins.
Very good defensive possession, and ultimately it was Nickel. Nickel kept coming over and taking that roll away, and he was there early showing his presence, so it just denied any thought of it.
Collins turns it over. Takeaway by Primo Spears. Goes right down the lane, fouled by Rechsteiner. Primo Spears will go to the free throw line to try and cut the lead down to 2.
I feel like that might have been more of an outcome foul than an actual foul. And Spears does a good job of that. He's very choppy and I don't know how to describe. He's got a weird wiggle to him. Strong base. He changes speeds and directions really well, but he got up in the air and I don't know how much he got hit. Could be wrong.
This for Spears. What a college basketball Saturday we have on tap on ESPN. The games tip off at noon Eastern. And here are some featured matchups. Number 9 Duke taking on the Noles at 2 Eastern. And then it's number 6 Kansas against number 25 Oklahoma. And a top 25 matchup as well between Kentucky and Auburn and a Sonic blockbuster. It'll be another great afternoon and evening of hoops on ESPN.
How much bacon do they get? I mean, they seem pretty excited about it. It doesn't seem like it's like added bacon to a club sandwich or something or a burger. Seems like it's a significant amount. 1 package per person, the voice tells me. I'll take that. I hope it's thick cut.
How could it not be? With the left hand, Lynn Kidd.
That's a really good spin dribble. Keep that defender on your back. Lynn Kidd holds his seal. You kind of spin that thing out. Little English on it. Good execution. It's just playing basketball.
Spears tries to cross over nickel and lost control of the dribble.
Cool.
Cattoor lucky to find the ball as Nickelberry had his back turned. Cattoor fades away, short. And there is another rebound for Taylor Balboa.
Jay Collins starting to stress out the fans behind us every time he's thrown a pass. I think I'm like, whoa! Like, gotta watch hands in the passing lanes, and he got his too.
He turns it over. Collins the steal, stumbling and drawing the foul as Lynn Kidd.
I feel like that's what Collins can do, though. Like, there are times where you're like, no, just make the simple play. But then he makes terrific plays. It's finding the balance, right? And, at times Sean Pedulla has had some turnover issues. Problem is, look at this line change.
This is a hockey moment for Leonard Hamilton. He sends 5 new players out to hop the boards as all 5 players on the floor were replaced. And by the way, that foul on Primo Spears, he becomes the first player in the game with 4.
They probably won't come in for another 5 minutes. This is how they roll.
Collins for 3.
Need it. That's big.
This equals the largest lead for Virginia Tech, pushed back to 8.
But you also give MJ Collins a little confidence shooting the basketball. Every make is a rhythm builder.
Watkins, size advantage, draws the foul on Pedulla. And they'll say that foul was on the floor.
Jake Collins hasn't really been able to do much to impact this game. Hasn't had a lot of shot opportunities. I mean, defender slides down and kind of take away the post because you're playing with 2 bigs. We got 2 bigs on the floor, so they're both trying to take away any bigs when there's a kind of a, it's not a dead ball situation, but the ball kind of stops, so you want to get back to guys that you're comfortable with. And you lose a shooter around the perimeter in MJ Collins.
Both teams now out of fouls to give. A thrown ball away for Jamir Watkins. So we still have 8.5 minutes to go. It'll be free throws the rest of the way. That 3 hit the backboard first for Collins. Numbers for Florida State. Barron behind the play. But Watkins pulls it out.
Oh, they're going to get it on Pedulla.
Pedulla is called for the foul. That's his 4th.
I don't know what you do. I'd love to see it back. I'm good in slow-mo, second time. As a mouse who's been in the house, I don't know what, I don't really understand how that's a foul on Pedulla. If anything, it's a play on. I got nothing for that. I mean, there's nothing you can do if you're Sean Pedulla except just let him catch it and dunk it. Like, there's nothing there. That's bad. Ball online?
Although Pedulla's on the bench now
That's
with 4 fouls.
No, 100%.
So that certainly impacts things because now Brandon Rechsteiner, a true freshman, trying to protect that 8-point lead, will run the point.
Here's the thing. If that happens early in the game, I'm saying, okay, let's deal with it. We're going to get one back because that's not a foul on Sean Pedulla, and I'll make sure the officials know.
Rechsteiner off the mark. Baba Miller, nice find, and the lay-in is there for Cam Corin. Big man to big man.
Yeah, tell Baba Miller he's a big man. The way he's handling the basketball and shooting it, and that pass is recognition, and the recognition is seeing what a defense is doing, seeing who's going to be open. It's big time.
Cam Corin looks like commits the foul. He is 4. And you
no
saw
other way to defend.
Florida State's got some foul trouble to worry about as well. Primo Spears has 4. So that is an energy player that right now has to sit for Leonard Hamilton, but he's got some 3 foul players to worry about as well, as Watkins, Worley have 3.
Yeah, but then he's got 10 other dudes that have like 1 or 2. So it's like they just keep coming at him.
He does have weapons.
But the difference is Sean Pedulla, this is a guy who had 26 last time they played. He's got 15 now. Not the most efficient shooting night, but he's 10 of 12 from the free throw line. That matters the most down the stretch. So he shouldn't impact the game with calls, and that's I think why it bothers me. We got a good game. It shouldn't be impacted by that.
Green Jr. thought about a 3. 5 to shoot. Puts it on the deck on Cattoor. Contested shot is good for Darren Green Jr.
Jay Collins may have a contact he's got to throw in. Get some solution. Don't just toss that puppy in.
Darren Green Jr. hit a couple of early 3s. He had been scoreless since. He now has 8. Now we have to make sure we can see. So Jay Collins might have to head to the bench for some saline.
Yeah, I would say so, right? Darren Green's a tough cover because of what he can do from the three-point line, but I thought Hunter Cattoor did a great job. They wanted to force him to bounce it, right? Put it on the floor, make him make a tough shot. He just made a really tough shot. In a way, you can live with that. That's good defense. You got guys in rebounding position. You force the toughest shot, let alone have
you get used to it.
Let alone have it fall on the floor and grab it and throw it back in. Is pink eye still a thing?
It exists, yes. I have children.
I do. I have 3 boys under 4. I'm sure I'll learn about it.
It's coming. Get ready. And when one gets it, get ready for the rest. Collins lost his footing.
Timeout.
Needs help. And the timeout not granted or called. The possession arrow belongs to Florida State.
I just think that's an important possession where you might want it. I guess you only have 2 left.
If you're Mike Young with Pedulla, are you just trying to get to the under 4 before you bring him back?
I think so, but you're also just feeling the situation. There are no absolutes in this game, so it could be that Florida State goes on a run and you call timeout and say, let's get a good possession and maybe play a little offense defense if possible. But you're also going to ask these guys to hold their ground, right? Be smart, have good possessions, take care of the basketball here. You trust Hunter Cattoor with the ball, too. I also like when they cover him with a big, use him as a point.
He'll try a 3. Yes! That'll buy some more time. On the bench for Sean Pedulla as the lead is up to 9, the largest for Virginia Tech.
If they're going to switch everything, you can get a matchup you like. It's going to be Barron. See, look at this with Hunter Cattoor. If they're going to get switches and you find a matchup you like, you got to trust Hunter Cattoor to make a good decision and make a shot. Now, a shot that's missed is better than a turnover. At least you get a shot up. And a shooter like Hunter Cattoor in the night he's having, he's 6 of 12 from the field, 4 of 6 from 3. Put it in his hands. And his game off the bounce has really developed. I got to give him a lot of credit. He was more of a one-dimensional shooter. Now he's really playing long, hard closeouts, attacking. Remember, it was one of the first plays of the game where he attacked. I mean, he went up there with bad intentions, and he took a tough fall, landed on that elbow, and he fought through it.
He has 16. Jamir Watkins leads all scorers with 17. He's the only player for Florida State in double figures.
4 in double figures last time they played this team, and truthfully they have 11 guys who have scored, so that's pretty impressive in a non-blowout. 18
for Watkins. The 19th time he's been in double figures this season. The lead at 7 with 5.5 to go. ball in the backcourt. That allows John Camden to then draw a foul with 5 on the timer on Jamir Watkins. That's his 4th.
Personal foul.
That's another very important player to pick up his 4th foul.
But that's not a smart one if you're Watkins. You know, pressure, you have a non-ball handler 40 feet from the basket. Just pressure, get wide. Get your hands wide. That being wide will disrupt any pass going anywhere. He's just going to dribble and the shot clock's going to go out with a bad shot. Time and score, presence of mind, situational awareness.
John Camden only averages about 6 minutes a game. This is only the 9th game this season he has played in.
And then you stick him at half court with Watkins pressuring him with 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Have fun with that.
But he steps up like a veteran and knocks down 2 big free throws.
There had to be a part of him when he got fouled. It was like, oh God, thank God.
Foul on Camden, holding Baba Miller. So that will put Miller at the line.
Fouls on Virginia Tech's number 11, John Camden. That's his 2nd personal. 19 foul back.
I'm just not sure about that one either.
To the line for Florida
I didn't
State.
see it all, but
Baba Miller.
sometimes when you're watching the whole play, you can feel when there was a foul, right? You just kind of, you see things move out of place, right? Someone knocked a chess piece over. There wasn't much going on there. They're really cleaning it up in the paint down there.
Camden didn't argue much.
It's like it's an initial argument.
The Hokies highlight an ACC network tripleheader Saturday as they square off against number 7 North Carolina at 2 Eastern, followed by Miami, BC, and then Louisville Pitt will cap off the night. That's your tripleheader on the ACC network coming up on Saturday.
Just found my wallet on the floor. That could have been a disaster. Apologize for the stream of consciousness yet again.
It's just nice to have a little window into your life.
Oh. Heart skipped a beat.
Rex Steiner, under 5 minutes to go. Again, Pedulla still on the bench with the 4 fouls, and Rex Steiner needs help. Nickel bails him out and drives it.
Good sit down.
The extra pass, Collins for 3. Rebound pulled down by Watkins.
Nickel's playing a really good game.
Green, Jr. fires, and he'll have 3 free throws coming as he was bumped by Rex Steiner.
There are times when the don't shoot it type of shot, right? The not really a good shot, it's hard to not foul a guy. Because you're kind of scrambling back and then turning your body and then just getting over a screen there. And, I mean, it's contact with the shooter. It's the right call.
Green Jr. made 2 early threes and wasn't heard from for a while, but had a big 2-point bucket a few possessions ago. He's up to 9.
I would almost wonder about getting Pedulla back in this possession. I would wonder. I don't know.
Checking in for Florida State 0, Chandler Jackson.
I'd find the guy. Maybe Nickel has 2, I think. Find the guy and say, you know what? Here's what I want you to do. I want to get Pedulla in, want a good possession. Nickel, you're going to foul the worst free throw shooters. It's probably a terrible idea, but I just like the idea of it. There's a different urgency right now, and it's not a confident sense of urgency. I think Cattoor's got to get the ball back in his hands, and you got to get Nickel to space. He's been really good getting the corners.
Crossover for Collins. Rex Steiner gave it away. Worley rounds it off, but he'll shoot 2. Another foul on Rex Steiner.
I'm not kidding about what I'm feeling. And what I'm feeling is Virginia Tech is a little out of sorts. Some calls that haven't gone their way, some offensive possessions where they've had nothing going. That's why I say something ridiculous like maybe get Pedulla back in the game for an offensive possession and foul a poor free throw shooter.
A miss for Worley, who shoots 69%. That's his first miss. He's now 2 for 3.
Florida State's not really doing themselves any favors from the free throw line. 7 of 26 for the game, and they've been able to get there. Maybe there's some bacon in this one.
There's the bacon. They do miss 2, but they get the back tap. And a fumble by Corin out of bounds as he was found by Baba Miller alone under the basket.
Well, that was just a positive outcome all around for Virginia Tech fans here. But you need a good possession. And again, I want Hunter Cattoor with the basketball. He's got a different poise about him where he's not really sweating this moment.
Again, if you're unfamiliar with the Cassell, if a player in the second half misses back-to-back free throws, everybody gets a voucher for a local serving of bacon.
Does that include us?
Why not? We were here.
Oh, that
could be goaltending. It is. That'll be an and-one opportunity for Lynn Kidd.
Yeah, they have to make the call so they can get necessary possession for Virginia Tech.
John Crispin on Bob Wischusen. 8-point lead for Virginia Tech, 3:43 to go.
And now you get Pedulla back in the game with 3:40 left. Was out with a 4th foul.
Green Jr. too strong. Pedulla runs it down. And now you think Virginia Tech might want to work some clock.
You know, it's like there's work some clock, but not for the purpose of just running clock, right? Work the defense and use some clock.
Pedulla sets up Kidd. The jump hook won't go. Aaron Green Jr. the rebound. Spin move Watkins with the left hand, comes up short, gets his own miss, draws a foul. And MJ Collins can't believe it.
Watkins has a really tough spin move. I saw it on tape, but it's a physical spin into you, and then it's just kind of presence of mind. That's not a foul either.
That looked like a lot of basketball. That's the 4th on Collins.
I'm going to be clear. Officiating is not easy. I mean, these things are happening so fast, and you want to be fair. We see it in slow-mo and complain about it.
Check it back in for Florida State.
Watkins is tough. Watkins is one of those guys that any team in the country would be like, I'll take that guy. Like, he just could play any role for you. He's tough.
And he's now a hit at least for 20 for the 3rd time this season.
Watch your trap.
Pedulla floats one to Nickel, gets it across.
Oh.
And Collins gets trapped and out of trouble now.
Nickel was almost in that no, you take it situation. Like, best to get it back out. You want to get it back into Pedulla's hands, but
Nickel fades away. Tough shot. Foul called on Darren Green Jr. Going for the rebound.
Florida State did a good job keeping it out of Pedulla's hands, so he was never really able to initiate anything. They never got into offense. And frankly, Virginia Tech got lucky on that foul on the rebound. It was a good defensive possession with the full court pressure, including the trap on the initial pass.
For Darren Green Jr., that's his 4th. And not surprising, you're going to have fouls pile up. We've had 41 fouls called in this game in total. And we now have 3 players on each roster with 4.
Yeah, this somewhere along the line started to feel like a midnight finish game. Just with fouls called, I mean, the physicality down the stretch, especially when possessions down the stretch start to matter more.
10 points and 15 rebounds now for Lynn Kidd.
Trying to put Primo in a situation to attack Pedulla with 4 fouls.
Miller.
It's not a bad option either.
Right at Robbie Barron. And immediately a timeout called by Leonard Hamilton.
topsy-turvy night in, night out, and have fun if you're Joe Lenardi. No one feels badly for Joe. Poor Joe. Trap.
Nickel throws it down. Why not?
That was nice. Play right out of the trap and attack, punish pressure.
15 for Tyler
Foul.
Nickel. Offensive foul called on Baba Miller. Sets a moving screen.
He was moving too fast, and Primo Spears was moving too fast, but how about Nickel right out of the double? Just tagged him. He gave a little look away as if he was going to make the pass.
How is that foul Baba Miller's first in this game? Hard to believe.
Playing from the three-point line, I guess.
Guess so.
He moves like a pro, too.
Pedulla, line drive. Won't go. Tipped. Kept alive by Lynn Kidd. And was a foul call. Nope, they're just going to say out of bounds off Florida State.
It's almost as if it was like, oh, wait, Watkins, how many fouls do you have? 4? No, out of bounds. There's no real foul there.
Feels like a must stop for Florida State. And now they're going to go to the monitor, it looks like, and take a look at the content.
Really turn the heat up without giving up something easy. Go attack that. Yep.
And there's the foul. Yep. And that fouls out Spears. So he is now done. He becomes the first player to foul out.
That is 5. Checking in for Florida State, number 1, Jamir Watkins.
This has been a tough game. Like,
well, if a basketball game could be Freebird, this is it.
Yes. I mean, this is something else. I mean,
that's 43 combined fouls that have been called on the two teams. Still with 1:35 to go in regulation time. And now that puts Lynn Kidd at the line. Now, I don't know about giving your 5th foul on Lynn Kidd. He shoots 89% at the line.
When I said attack him, I meant pressure. Make him dribble. Make him make a pass.
He's 3rd best in the ACC at the free throw line. So
he almost gave you that jinx business right there, too.
I couldn't even jinx him.
Nope.
So Primo Spears fouled the wrong guy. And a turnover. Pedulla, ridden by Miller. Picks up his dribble and finds Nickel.
Good poise. Good poise handling the pressure. Now you got a foul. Good shooter.
And that puts Cattoor at the line. He shoots 88%. So Virginia Tech, as you would expect, well coached by Mike Young, they're getting the ball to the guys that they want to have fouled.
I think they've seen the pressure throughout the game, too, so they're starting to see what's there. They're getting their head up and managing the on-ball pressure a little bit better, and that's an adjustment you make throughout the course of the game. And in a way, it's growing comfortable with the most difficult thing at the start of the game. think you get comfortable with it, but you just manage it better.
18 for Cattoor. And a little mock chant from the student section as they're doing the tomahawk chop as the clock winds down for Florida State. There's a three, a rainbow for Darren Green Jr. That will get Leonard Hamilton to call another timeout. Still an 8-point lead for Virginia Tech with 56.6 to go.
Darren Green, when you watch him shoot, Duke shot the ball really well. There's that.
And the strength for Virginia Tech at this point, they do not have a bad free throw shooter on the floor. You know, it doesn't matter where the ball goes. As Pedulla dribbles the clock down, there's the foul by Miller. Pedulla is the worst free throw shooter of the 5 players on the floor, and he shoots 78%.
How dare he?
And he's 10 of 12.
Yeah, I was going to say, today's not the day where he's 78%.
So he knocks a couple down here, and it's a 10-point lead with 53 seconds to go. You wonder if Leonard Hamilton even has his team commit any further fouls.
I think you got to say Pedulla's had a good game. He's really dealt with a lot. The foul trouble becomes an issue, right? The inconsistency in and out, playing the role that he plays, the responsibility he has and carries as the point guard, but also a guy that needs to score. This is not an easy matchup.
There's a three for Jamir Watkins. And another foul given on Hunter Cattoor by Miller, his third.
Yeah, look, you make a three, you foul. You want to extend this basketball game, but it's tough when you have so many good free throw shooters on the floor. So free throws are points. Right? They're giving you an opportunity to get a point. Do you realize how hard you have to work on offense to get 2?
Well, Virginia Tech is now 25 of 29 at the line as a team.
And I think part of that's been the aggressiveness with which they played. They really attacked on offense. Pedulla does a great job getting inside, pump faking, really used his footwork well today, which is something he needs to continue to work on.
Rebound by Pedulla. And Baba Miller gives another foul in a 9-point game with just over 30 seconds to go.
I don't want to be too cliche and say like he needs to be like a Villanova guard, like Colin Gillespie, but there are aspects of that game that you want to watch and mimic. And the post play, the strength in the paint, that's something he can really work on and improve, because when his footwork's good and he's strong with the basketball, he makes better decisions. And when he makes better decisions, his team shoots a higher percentage.
An 11-point lead for Virginia Tech. So they are going to break their 3-game losing streak, and they're going to send Florida State to their 5th loss in their last 7 games. As Miller comes up way short. It's saved off of nickel by Watkins with 19 seconds to go.
Miller's got a good shot. Learning the step back from 25-30, something else.
Watkins from the corner. It's another 3. It's into Cattoor.
Now they're going to call him off.
And now they will finally wave the white flag, and Virginia Tech will dribble down the last 10 seconds and win it 83-75.
This is a good performance by Virginia Tech. I give them a lot of credit. This is a tough matchup for Virginia Tech. They ran great stuff on the offensive end, got good looks. Nickel was terrific. Hunter Cattoor was